And welcome everyone under the lights here in Boulder, Colorado. A moment ago, one of the most enduring signs in college football, Ralphie on the move. And folks, as always, the sidelines bursting with luminaries here in Boulder. Here's just a small sampling of some of the major names. The Slim Reaper out at night. CZ Sabathia, former baseball star John Wall, NBA All-Star. Yeah, and it is what it is, Mr. Cameron. As always, this is one of the most unique scenes in all of college football. As the people here in Boulder, Colorado University, have built this program into something extremely unique. And part of that is the fact that Deion Sanders has the ability to coach his sons. One of them, Shedeur, maybe the top quarterback in college football. He says that when he comes out of the locker room, he's a dad. When he hits the 20, he turns into a coach. And right now he's standing by with Quinn.
He's got some final words for his quarterback and his son, and an embrace. Coach, how do you best describe the electricity tonight in this arena?
Unbelievable. Our fan base is electric. They're unbelievable. They're consistent. I love them tonight. There's not a seat open in the house, and we got to put on for the city.
What did you just emphasize with your son, Shedeur?
Take what they get you. Take what they give you and be you.
Thank you, Coach.
God bless you.
Another sellout crowd here at Folsom Field, which is becoming a very regular scene here. A boisterous crowd, in excess of 55,000 people for this pivotal and critical game between these two Big 12 teams that haven't met since 2010. It's the 67th meeting all time between the two of them, and Colorado will have the football first. Jimmy Horn watches it go over his head. They'll start 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. That's where Shedeur Sanders will take the reins of this Colorado offense. Folks, he's completing 70% of his passes on the season. And the opposing coach, Chris Kleiman, had nothing but effusive praise, careful praise, muted praise for Shedeur Sanders leading up to this week. He's the orchestrator of one of the most potent passing offenses in the country. First down and 10 from their own 25. They're going to run it on first down between the tackles. Nowhere to go for Hayden. Alton Hayden stopped up by Siegel. Marquise Siegel making the stop.
And this Colorado offense is obviously based and will thrive and be powered by the abilities of Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, but they're going to have to run the ball at least a little bit.
They try running again, this time over the talented left tackle Jordan Seaton. Freshman All-American candidate Payne making the tackle on the play, setting up an interesting 3rd down and 7. Balance is one of the buzzwords for Colorado's offense coming into the game, right?
It is, and I don't think balance is 50-50. Balance is being able to run the ball when Kansas State has less guys in the box than you have to block. Kansas State wants to keep Colorado in 3rd and longs like this.
You saw the graphic. The Wildcats, one of the best rush defenses in FBS. Sanders fires complete. Looks like it's short of the first down by about 2 yards. Jimmy Horn on the other end of that rope by Sanders. He picked up 5, but it's 4th down.
It's a nice job of of Kansas State and Marquise Siegel, the safety, playing inside leverage and pushing Jimmy Horn out of bounds before he's able to get that 3rd down. Kansas State's going to have to play some man-to-man coverage against Colorado. Their first snap of it against a pass was a nice job being able to get off the field.
Folks, keep in mind that Dylan Edwards, number 3, returning this punt for Kansas State, played for the Buffaloes a season ago. And he decoys the punt coverage unit, bounces out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. Edwards was one of the starting tailbacks here for Deion Sanders a season ago. Got in the portal and went to Kansas State, closer to home, but leaves with good feelings of his former teammates. Meanwhile, Avery Johnson has shown wonderful sovereignty over this offense all season long for Kansas State, albeit that one loss against BYU. A dangerous runner, amongst other things.
Big-time athlete. They cannot let him beat them with his legs.
He passes it on first down in a tight window, complete for the first down. Cephas working against Travis Hunter for an 11-yard gain, Roddy.
Dante Cephas just on a little slant route against Travis Hunter. You don't see that a lot. People typically throw away from 12. That time they go right after him with a little RPO, get the first down.
Avery Johnson completing 61% of his passes on the season. On the little pitch to the wide side of the field, Giddens going to be trapped up. He falls forward to perhaps gain a yard or two. DJ McKinney with great corner run support that time, Roddy.
It's a corner taking on an offensive lineman in the run game, being able to cause a bit of a pile so that there was nowhere for DJ Giddens to go. This Colorado defense is much improved against the run. A lot of that has to do with the physicality that they played with both on the defensive line, linebacker, and there in the secondary.
Second down and 8. Jackson in motion now sets. And they're going to blow this play dead. Got a flag down on the field.
Part of the snap, full start, offense, number 83, 5-yard penalty.
And that's very contrary to the way that Coach Kleiman's team plays. They don't beat themselves, Roddy.
No, they don't, but look, check out this physicality against Travis Hunter. I think those guys know that he's going to play 100 plays today. Jace Brown, the wide receiver, getting after him a little bit, even though that play was blown dead.
Maybe part of the game plan?
I would say so.
Second and 13. Cephas in motion. Johnson comes underneath, checks it down. Pass complete to the tight end. Swanson got hit a couple of times. Preston Hodge was the first one to get there, a 5-yard pickup. It'll be third down and about 8 to go for Johnson.
The key here for Colorado is going to be keeping Avery Johnson in the pocket. They decide to bring pressure. You have to keep integrity in your rush lanes. Make Avery Johnson beat you with his arm.
You see number 21 there, Shiloh Sanders, back for the first time in a couple of weeks after suffering that broken wrist. Here's Johnson, almost sacked. He throws it away. We might have a grounding. Did not appear to cross the line of scrimmage. McCoy was pressuring along with Silman Craig. Yeah, that's going to be grounding, Roddy, when you think about it.
Just for grounding, offense number 2, losses down from the spot of the pass, 4th down.
And there's a look at defensive line coach Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp was calling he's down. Intentional grounding, essentially the same thing. Not only did it not cross the line of scrimmage, no receiver in the area. So an intentional grounding penalty backs Kansas State up. Great job on the pressure, though. 3 Colorado defenders keeping Avery Johnson in the pocket.
Jimmy Horn and LeJontay Wester back. 2 punt returners. The ball caroms at about midfield and takes a Buffalo bounce to about the 49-yard line, where Shedeur Sanders will take the reins of the offense on their second possession of this football game. They went 3 and out on their first one. After the 35-yard punt, it'll be 1st and 10 coming back the other way. This is how Travis Hunter and others arrived today. Hunter ready to ride those receivers like a hubcap on defense. Meanwhile, Avery Johnson with his improvisational wizardry on display. And yeah, Shedeur with that right wrist on frost. And his pulchritudinous passing ready to go. Finds his receiver at the 31-yard line. Met immediately. That was Dallin Hayden at the other end of that pass. Payne making the catch. Pardon me, Payne making the tackle and an 8-yard pickup.
Really nice play design by Colorado. You get 2 slants from the receivers, and then Dallin Hayden up the sideline out of the backfield for an easy completion.
Hunter split wide to the top of your screen on 2nd and 2. Horn in motion. And they're going to pick up the first down on the run to Hayden. Hayden, the transfer from Ohio State. As it looks like early in the ball game here, it looks like they're making a concerted effort to get the run game going right.
Offensive coordinator Pat Shermer for Colorado told us that Kansas State's going to present you with some light boxes. That means that they have less guys in the box than you have to block. And you have to be able to run the ball against those. As if you don't, you're throwing the ball with more guys to cover than you have guys running routes.
On 1st and 10, they're going to try and run it again. This time it's Hayden. And he's going to be stopped up right near the line of scrimmage. Kansas State has only lost once this year, and here's a look at what's at stake for them tonight. A win gets them right back on track and really still in contention for the Big 12 title.
They're one of the favorites in the Big 12 coming in this season, but dropping that game to BYU sort of put them in the middle of the pack, but they're able to win this one, and they're right back in contention at the top.
Travis Hunter was not in on that last play, a rarity. 1st and 10 coming in. Pass complete, quick slant, Jimmy Horn. Brought down by Siegel. Got 3 yards on the play. Conversely, here's a look at what's at stake for the Buffaloes. Roddy, I don't think it's an overstatement to say this might be the most consequential game of Coach Sanders' career here.
I don't think it's an overstatement at all, and I'm not sure if you've heard, but there's been a lot of doubters.
Yeah.
A win here today against a ranked team provides validation for what he has done here in Boulder.
3rd and 7, a blitz coming. Shedeur got rid of it. Incomplete down the sidelines for Shepard, who laid out but couldn't quite get there. And it sets up a 4th down and 7.
They bring pressure from the secondary. Jacob Parrish from his nickel spot. And then on the back end, it's really good coverage. They played man free, 1 safety in the middle of the field. Almost connected with Will Shepard diving in the end zone.
So they're going to go for it on 4th down. They're 2 of 8 on 4th down conversions this year. Hunter is split to the top of your screen. Sanders has time, finds his man, and the lunge for the first down by Wester. Boy, Sanders really spins it, doesn't he?
He does, and it's on time and on target to Wester. Went a little whip route.
They move the chain. Sanders going to be sacked back to the 37. Great surge up front by Brendan Mott. That's going to be his 5th sack of the season.
Not all sacks are on the quarterback. Brendan Mott right here, and when Shedeur Sanders tries to escape to his right, he just spins off. Shedeur's got to throw this ball away. He had plenty of time and plenty of space to be able to do it. Didn't necessarily need to try to escape out of the pocket. And how about he throwing up the Shedeur, the celebration that's in the video game.
He was missing the Rolex on his wrist, but
the tape suffices.
We get it. 2nd and 19. Sanders gets it out quick on the receiver screen, complete to Miller. Omarion Miller makes it down to the 24-yard line. Riley making the tackle. A gain of 11. That was the first sack on Sanders tonight. Keep in mind that last year they were 2nd worst in protecting the quarterback.
And they've gotten better this year, getting up to 125th, which is about, by my math, 9th worst. But not all of that's on the offensive line. That last one was on Shedeur.
3rd and 8. Gets it out wide open. Nothing but real estate in front of Wester. Got a block out there. Wester. Touchdown Buffaloes. Great block by Hunter on this play, Roddy.
Well, they turn LaJohntay Wester completely free, and then Travis Hunter just gets in the way a couple times, and that's all you need to do in the open field. LaJohntay Wester to get in the end zone.
That's his 6th touchdown catch of the season, the 27th of his career. And for Shedeur Sanders, that was his 15th touchdown pass of the year. Buffalo strike first with 7:06 to go in the opening quarter. Colorado coming in at 4-1. Alejandro Mata for the extra point. Place kicker that's been with Coach Sanders going back to Jackson State days. Knocks it through, and it's a 7-0 beginning here in Boulder. What does it say about Travis Hunter to block like this?
He's unselfish downfield, telling LaJohntay Wester, follow me, I got your back. Blocks one guy twice and another guy downfield.
ESPN College Football is presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. 19 hotel brands, 1 loyalty program. Download the app. And in part by Mercedes-Benz.
You could easily say that Colorado has become America's team in a sense, because you have people buying merchandise, all kinds of merchandise with that man's name on it and the Colorado colors. There's a former player, Michael Westbrook, former wide receiver, here on the sidelines tonight. Wildcats will watch it. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Folks, you're watching ESPN College Football presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. This is the Big 12 on ESPN, or how Roddy Jones and I like to call it, the Big 12 after party.
After the party, it's the after party. The party happened earlier. Some of the parties are still going on.
Yeah, we know what happens at night.
Yeah.
7:06 to go in the opening quarter. 1st and 10. Let's see what kind of response we get from Avery Johnson, who was sacked on one of his previous possessions. Gets it out quickly. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Complete. And that's going to be about a 7-yard gain to Dylan Edwards. 6-yard pickup on the play. Second down and 4 coming up.
With Dylan Edwards in the backfield next to Avery Johnson, big time receiving threat like you saw in that last play.
Play clock down to 8. Edwards out to the 36-yard line. Hill Green making the tackle. 5-yard pickup. Kansas State has one of the most prolific ground games in the country, and Chris Kleiman, their head coach, has a blueprint that goes back to his times at North Dakota State that has been extremely successful.
Incredibly successful. And it starts up front. Those North Dakota State teams where he won multiple national championships after taking over for Craig Bowl were built on the offensive and defensive lines.
Jace Brown in motion, their second leading receiver. Johnson rolls out, hits Edwards in the flat. Nice move by Dylan Edwards. Tiptoes out of bounds right around that 1st down marker. He's going to come up about 1.5 yards shy. Pickup of 9 on the play. Man, he's shifty.
He really is. We were talking to some of the Colorado coaches before the game, and the word they described him as special. I mean, shakes Travis Hunter in the open field, and it's one of the reasons he was a big get for Colorado. He's previously committed to another school, decided to flip to Colorado. They were really excited about him, but coming back home, closer to home at Kansas.
Giddens right between the tackles. They gash that front, and Giddens makes it down to the 41-yard line, and a Wildcat 1st down on the pickup of 14 yards. Boy, there was a yawning hole there waiting for him.
There really was. Watch the combination up front between these 3 guys to create that hole. Nice job getting up the field, and now the lane for DJ Giddens to run through was massive.
Here's Giddens again. This time stopped up at about the 39-yard line by Hill Green. One of the defensive players for Coach Sanders that has made a marked improvement from game 1 to now. Pickup of 2 on the play.
Nakai Hill-Green, I think, has brought a physicality to that linebacker position. Downhill plugger. He's the second leading tackler for Charlotte a year ago. Got here over the summer, had to learn this defense, but has really provided a physical presence that's helped them be much better against the run.
Cephas in motion. Johnson on the run. Improvising, finds his receiver at the 34-yard line. His tight end, Garrett Oakley, picks up 5 in all on the play. And a third down coming up now for Avery Johnson. But you got an example of how he can make lemonade out of lemons, right?
That's where he can be special, when he's able to create in the pocket that time, scrambling and running to throw down the field and throw accurately, because when he's accurate, he is absolutely deadly as a quarterback.
Young man that enjoys watching Lamar Jackson. Giddens picks up the first down and then some, still on his feet. Oh, what a shake in the open field. And inside the 15 at the 14, Hunter making the tackle. A gain of 20 on the play.
At about 215 pounds, for DJ Giddens to have that kind of shake and stab in the open field, absolutely special. He is an NFL running back all day long. It's why he's one of the best in the country.
Under the lights here in Boulder, that's quarterback Avery Johnson of Kansas State being sacked by the Colorado defensive front led by B.J. Green. I'm Mark Jones alongside Roddy Jones, Quinn Kessenich down to the field. The Buffaloes coming in at 4-1, taking on the 4-1 Kansas State Wildcats. Colorado scored on its previous drive to make it 7-0, but that was the second sack of the night by their defense. Deion Sanders, their second-year head coach, seeing a marked improvement in his front seven this year. Johnson is going to try and run it. And brought down at the 19 by DJ McKinney. Let's take a look at the only scoring play of the game so far.
LaJohntay Wester catching a ball short. Travis Hunter throwing a couple of in-the-way blocks for his teammate. Kansas State had a bust on the back end and man coverage. LaJohntay Wester wide open. And this defense has been getting after Avery Johnson. You mentioned second sack on the night. This was a team that was 12th nationally in sacks allowed, having only given up 4 coming into this game.
10th play of the Wildcat drive. 3rd and long. They've got to get to the 4. Johnson downfield, complete to Edwards. And Edwards is going to be stopped up about 3, maybe 4 yards shy of the first down. Keep in mind that Dylan Edwards played here in Boulder for the Buffaloes a season ago. Hit the transfer portal with no animus or animosity and transferred to Kansas State. 4th down coming up. His former teammates had nothing but praise and good things to say about him. They're going to go for it on 4th down. Blitz off the edge. Johnson eludes the rush. Falls. Touchdown, Wildcats. And he does the Deion Sanders dance. It's on now, Roddy.
You can play everything well, but with Avery Johnson at quarterback, it's always the danger of him taking off. And does he get in the end zone before that leg's down? He does extend before the knee hits the ground. The question, does he break the plane of the goal line?
Ooh.
Previous play is under further review. The rule in the field is a touchdown.
Let's bring in our rules analyst, Bill Lamagnier, and get his thoughts on what he sees right here. Bill, what do you think about this play? Touchdown or not? What are we looking for? What variables? Okay, we're having some technical issues trying to get Bill on the line.
The question is, does that ball break the plane of the goal line before that shin and knee are down? The tough part for the officials are going to be, if you don't have a shot right down the line,
right,
then can you, with indisputable video evidence, overturn the call of touchdown on the field?
Let's bring in Bill Lamagna now. Bill, what are your thoughts on this?
All right, my apologies. I had the wrong button, but he's doesn't have a knee down. He doesn't have a body part down other than the hand or foot.
Here's the call,
Any
Bill.
part of the ball in possession breaks.
The rule into the field of a touchdown stands.
I'm actually surprised they didn't confirm the call.
They're calling it a touchdown, as Avery Johnson, in that last gasp effort to extend the ball as he fell. And this, let's just say that's a salute to the opposing head coach. I'm not sure how that's going to be taken, but I'm sure we'll find out.
I think Cameron Silman Craig, with that little nudge as he's running off, recognized what was happening.
That's the third rushing touchdown of the season for Avery Johnson. I wonder if Avery Johnson's going to start trending like he usually does. Has a lot of consequences. We'll tell you more about that as the night progresses. And after that 11-play, 75-yard drive by the Wildcats, capped by that 8-yard touchdown run from quarterback Avery Johnson, showing you why he's so dangerous in so many different ways with his arm and his legs. Jimmy Horn back deep. He'll watch it go out of the back of the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 for Shedeur Sanders as we go back to the studio first. All right, guys, back here. Sanders took the offense the length of the field, or most of it, on the previous drive for the touchdown. Remember, these teams coming off of a bye week had a chance to do some self-evaluation, and the Buffaloes continue to look committed to establishing a run game. Purnell making the tackle on Hayden on 1st and 10. 3-yard pickup. 2nd down and 7 coming up. Coach Sanders spent the bye week, at least a few days, in his happy place, which is down at his home in Texas. Got to his private lake on his property and did some fishing.
Lakes.
That's my bad.
As he told us yesterday, lakes.
Multiple. According to him, the fish were jumping in the boat.
They were biting.
Trying to hook a big fish tonight in a ranked opponent. Sanders picks up a good block and gets down safely at about the 36-yard line to pick up the 1st down. Brendan Mott making the tackle, but an 8-yard gain by Shedeur Sanders. There is no sideline like a sideline in Boulder for Coach Prime. Carmelo Anthony, just one of the many luminaries, Hall of Famer to be. KD. CC used to throw some gas, and John Wall too. Q has more on the other side. Yeah, it is what it is, Cameron. And you're watching ESPN College Football, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. The Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week. 67th meeting all time between these two schools. Tied at 7. It's 1st and 10. They keep it on the ground, and Hayden runs for about 1.5 yards. A moment ago, Q caught up with Coach Kleiman.
Coach, after one quarter, what's got your most undivided attention?
Well, we can't give them a short field. We had to punt and got it at the 50, and then we blew a coverage. We got to get our calls in a little bit faster for our guys, but then I was proud of our offense to take it down and run the football like we wanted to, and then we were able to complete some passes. So kind of what I thought in the first quarter. Now we got a ball up here on defense.
What's it like to try to handle their speed and their skill on the outside?
Yeah, it's really hard. That's why we've got to continue to find ways to get pressure, whether it's with 3, whether it's with 4, and be careful about bringing more than that, because that's when if they pick it up, we got a problem.
Thank you.
You bet.
Very interesting from Coach Kleiman. Doesn't seem like a big fan of bringing 5 or more players in the blitz. So we'll keep an eye on that, because that's how they got beat on that touchdown.
6-yard gain on the previous play, 3rd down. They roll up their sleeves, trying to get it on the ground, but Romaine there to meet Hayden in the hole, and that's going to be about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. 4th down coming up in a very intriguing part of the field.
Stop short of the line to gain. 4th down.
And Coach Sanders begrudgingly sending in the punt unit.
Seen Colorado go for it on 4th and 1s a number of times this year, and they haven't been great. 4th down conversions. They converted one earlier in the game, but only 2 for 8 overall in some of those situations like this. So electing to at least line up for the punt, and I expect them to.
Yeah, they were running over Jordan Seaton, their best offensive lineman, the freshman All-American candidate. End over end punt. Oh, what a job. It's going to be down inside the 2-yard line. Bassett with the punt as we check in with the studio.
It is time for your AT&T studio update. It is final in Eugene, Oregon. Ohio State down 1. 5 seconds left. Will Howard doesn't make the play. Left with a timeout. Oregon upsets Ohio State 32-31.
Wow, what a finish in that game. In this new 12-team college football playoff format, it doesn't feel like a death sentence, though, for Ohio State. Right?
That felt like a preview for the Big Ten championship game. I think these 2 teams meet again, and the winner's going to get a bye in the college football playoff.
Avery Johnson hands it off to Giddens. What a move. Oh, he's on the loose. And brought down at about the 30-yard line. Giddens at 215 pounds. Hit the DB with some sauce there in the secondary.
The tackle and the H-back seal this for DJ Giddens and create a lane. But DJ Giddens in the open field has been tremendous. He's got a great jab step, one-on-one with Shiloh Sanders in the middle of the field. He's able to get by him, and that's not the first time we've seen that.
26-yard pickup on the play, 1st and 10. Play clock at 5. Johnson into the boundary. Man, he threw a rope complete to his wideout, Cephas. Hey, folks, next Saturday, the 2 best matchups on ABC as part of our triple header that begins at noon Eastern. Number 7, Alabama taking on number 8, Tennessee at 3:30 Eastern. Then 7:30, the Lone Star State, number 1, Texas, hosting number 5, Georgia. What a football lineup on ABC and ESPN+. And a flag down. 2nd and 5.
False start. Offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Kansas State is not a highly penalized team, but in their 2 road games at Tulane and at BYU, 8 penalties in each of those games. In their 3 games at home this year, they averaged 3 penalties. So the pre-snap, the noise, the environment, those 2 road games were at night as well. And it's not gone well from a sloppiness standpoint for Chris Kleiman's team.
Sets up a 2nd down and 10. Giddens again. Absorbed a big hit, stayed on his feet. Relentless, ruthless running by Giddens. Shiloh Sanders came up, and Giddens had smoke for Shiloh that time on the 13-yard gain. Let's listen.
It's a heck of a blow delivered by Shiloh Sanders, but you got to wrap up and run your feet. It's not just a lunge and a hit. And welcome back, Shiloh, after missing the last few games.
They keep it on the ground. Dylan Edwards trying to spin off a blocker. And is tackled right around the 45-yard line by McNeil, a 2-yard gain on the play. If you're just joining us right there, number 3, Dylan Edwards, starting tailback for Kansas State, played here for Colorado a season ago. But Coach Sanders had nothing but praise for Edwards when we talked about him in our meetings a little bit earlier yesterday. Second and 8. Johnson to the wide side of the field, incomplete for Brown, the team's second leading receiver. Hodge there in coverage.
I think Preston Hodge got away with a little bit of a tug on the back of the shirt. It seemed like that shirt was pulled pretty heavily, but nonetheless sets up a 3rd and long for Kansas State. Again, Avery Johnson's legs, dangerous here.
Sacked back at the 37, the 3rd one of the evening. Silman Craig, a beacon on that defense for the Buffaloes. He has been so clutch, had a scoop and score a couple of weeks ago as well at UCF. And an 8-yard loss.
Well, Cameron Silman Craig, he's hidden behind the goalpost, is going to come. And DJ Giddens is responsible for sliding over and blocking. Silman Craig just does a nice job of sliding by the running back and getting to the quarterback. Great, well-executed blitz by Colorado.
That's Wester. Calls for the fair catch at the 16-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for the Buffaloes after that 47-yard punt. Welcome back, everyone. Let's take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Carfax. Same guy, different position.
Well,
right?
when Colorado's on offense, you get a guy who leads the Big 12 in receptions. And when Colorado's on defense, you get a guy who, if he were just a corner, might be the #1 corner taken in the draft. Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball. That was not a typo.
Averages 127 plays a game out of the backfield. Complete out to the 17-yard line. That was Miller. Braylon Miller making the reception. Shador had a chance to relax a little bit during the bye week. Spent some of that time at the WNBA playoff game down in Las Vegas, where he had a nice little exchange with the owner of the team and owner of the Raiders, Mr. Davis. And Shador is about just winning. That pass complete to Jimmy Horn for the 1st down. Horn for 12 yards here.
It's a well-thrown ball by Shador, keeping his receiver out of harm's way, throwing it low. He could go down and slide away from the hit of VJ Payne.
Jimmy Horn has made so many big plays for Colorado the last couple of years. Notably that play against Colorado State last year in their rivalry game. 1st down and 10. Sanders to the wide side of the field. That's Hunter. And they bottle him up at about the 35. Keenan Garber. Good open field tackle, which isn't easy on this guy.
Travis Hunter has to deal with the physicality at cornerback. Anytime there's a receiver out there, they're going to try and lay a block. But he lays a couple of blocks downfield for LaJohntay Wester. Obviously, we're going to see him catching the ball again. 47 receptions on the season now, not to mention the work he does on defense.
Sanders going to pass again, steps up into the pocket. Finds his man, caught, and hit immediately at the 48-yard line. That was Hunter again. Like I said, he averages 127 snaps per game. He takes immaculate care of his body, too.
And it feels like anytime there's a scramble drill, Shador Sanders is looking for where 12 is. Able to dish the football. He's got a great feel for space, does Travis Hunter. And Shador, with his ability to move in the pocket, just makes you cover for so long.
On his days off, he does the hyperbaric chamber. He gets to the infrared sauna, a hot tub, cold tub. He has the disposition of a professional football player. Got a flag down on the field, multiple flags. Roddy, did you get to the hyperbaric chamber at Georgia Tech?
I couldn't spell hyperbaric chamber, so I must have missed that one. I can spell hot
There's
tub
no
and cold
foul
tub.
for delayed a game. Colorado call timeout.
I know you got one of those at the house.
Oh, man, I'm working on it. If I had some of Hunter's NIL deals, then, yeah, get at me. We're going to time out of the field. Back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Boulder, Colorado. Mark Jones, Ronnie Jones, Quint Kessler down to the field. BYU defeating Arizona in Big 12 action today. This is a very pivotal game because BYU remains undefeated in conference play, 6-0 overall, 3-0 in conference play with Texas Tech, the identical record. What do you make of what it looks like so far in the Big 12?
It's a beautiful mess. At least one of the undefeateds will go down today with Iowa State, West Virginia playing each other. But I think as surprising are the fact that Kansas and Oklahoma State at the bottom of the Big 12 standings and looking like they're going to struggle to make a bowl.
On the jet sweep. Nowhere to go that time for LeJontay Wester, who's really come on as a receiver. Siegel making the stop on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. They come out in a trips left formation. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen for Shedeur Sanders. Got a spy on him, and the spy drags him down at about the 49-yard line. It was Austin Romaine to limit that gain to just 2 yards, setting up a 3rd down and long for the Buffaloes. What do you like about this? What are you thinking about this call coming up?
Well, I think it's going to depend on what Kansas State does. If they go man-to-man, LeJontay Wester in the slot has been the go-to. If it's zone coverage, Shedeur Sanders often looks for number 12. Kansas State takes a timeout.
Yeah, the Wildcats are going to talk this over a little bit. Travis Hunter is going to get a breather.
Timeout. Kansas State, the first of the half.
Every time he gets a chance to sit down, he'll take advantage of it. We'll do the same and come back after this.
ESPN College Football, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts, is brought to you by Burger King. You rule.
Travis Hunter took that hit a moment ago, and during the commercial break, he was being worked on by the athletic training staff on the sidelines, reaching into that right shoulder area. But he's back in the ball game. Sanders is going to be sacked back at the 38-yard line. A great surge up front led by Bates and Mott. And it sets up a 4th down. That's the 2nd sack for the Wildcats tonight.
Watch how deep the drop for Shedeur Sanders is. It makes the angle for the defensive end so shallow that Jordan Seaton, the left tackle, doesn't really have a chance. I mean, basically, it's going straight up field. If Shedeur is able to scoot up, it helps out. Now, there was a blown block on the other side, but another sack by this Kansas State defense.
Bassett into punt. A line drive comes to Dylan Edwards, who's returned a punt for a touchdown already this year. This one comes back out near the 40. Well, it'll be 1st down and 10 for Avery Johnson after that 40-yard punt and 20-yard return. And Travis Hunter looks like he's going to head into the Buffaloes locker room as we go quickly down to Q.
Yeah, Hunter with that right shoulder pain, Mark, that you pointed out. The medical staff looked at him. He came over grimacing in pain. They came over to him again. And now this is the 2nd time in this game that he has walked off. Amazing toughness because Omarion Miller wanted to substitute himself in the game. Travis waved him off, but finally he's in the locker room now getting further evaluated.
Discretion instead of valor that time. Good decision. Here's Giddens. TJ Giddens has had a lot of success running the football tonight. Shiloh Sanders makes the tackle on the 7-yard gain. Russell Westbrook on hand tonight. Newest member of the Denver Nuggets, who play tomorrow night on ESPN against the Phoenix Suns in NBA exhibition play.
I know somebody's going to be at that game.
Yeah.
Hey, what you doing that game?
Hey, man. Got to keep working. Giddens has run the ball 7 times for 84 yards already. And Avery Johnson doing a nice job with the reins of the offense. Giddens again breaks another one, carries defenders for another 1st down all the way down to the 33. Avery Johnson, like another Avery Johnson, who was a great point guard back in the day with the San Antonio Spurs, an NBA champion. As we're going to bring him into the telecast right now. Avery, what do you think of this guy, and how did you become aware of him?
Mark, it's funny. I was trending one day, and my family and friends said, hey, you need to find out why you're trending. And I went on social media, and I found out I was trending because of another guy that had my same name, Avery Johnson, the Kansas State quarterback. I thought something was going on with my son, Avery Johnson Jr.
So how did you like look him up? Did you Google him and learn a little bit more about his talents?
Absolutely. I looked him up. This kid is amazing. I really love the way he plays the quarterback position, along with Shadur Sanders. I got Shadur probably going in the top 3 in next year's NFL draft. A year from now, Avery Johnson is going to be my favorite for the Heisman race.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he's that good. He's that good. Just give him another year.
Hey, with a name like that, he's got to be able to ball a little bit, right?
He's got to be able to have vision of the court or football field. You know, a panoramic vision, in using one of your words, Mark Jones, of the entire field.
Hey, Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. We're going to keep an eye on your namesake right here.
All right, thanks a lot.
Avery Johnson, NBA champ, one of the greatest point guards ever to do it. On the handoff, Giddens miraculously stayed on his feet with tremendous balance, falling forward for about 3 yards.
DJ Giddens has been doing this all day long. Over 100 yards already. He's the first player against Colorado that's rushed for over 100 yards. Came into this game having not allowed a 100-yard rusher or receiver. This offensive line has been opening up the holes, but he has been tremendous. He's got elite contact balance, and in the open field, that little jab step that he gives defenders is lethal.
Looking at a 3rd and 5. Giddens again. Tackled right at that first down marker. He appears to have enough to move the chains. Jalen Wester making the tackle on the plane, and Giddens now is slow to get up. Those pads are popping down there.
They are. DJ Giddens a little shaken up. And how about Kansas State just opting to run the ball on a 3rd and 5? Shiloh Sanders coming in with a little something extra as Giddens going to the ground.
He's a person of very few words, DJ Giddens. But his game is doing a lot of talking right now on 1st and goal when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. All that coming up on the halftime report, the Lexus halftime report. Texas, Oregon, and Tennessee, the headliners. Edwards broke a couple of tackles, still on his feet. Miraculously makes it down to the 1-yard line. The diminutive but dynamic tailback within a yard of the end zone. Interminable effort that time to pick up 9.
There was some purpose with that run. Did not want to go down. The tackle of Cameron Silman-Craig.
Man, he goes a $167 run.
He did not run. Looked like he was 267 with that run. He was tough to take down.
2nd and goal coming up. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, Quint Kasinick down on the field here in Boulder, Colorado.
Previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was that he was short of the goal line.
On that last replay, we couldn't quite see where that right foot was.
Yeah. Let's bring in our rules analyst, Bill Lamagnier, to parse this play. Edwards extending, hit the pylon with his foot. Bill, what do you think?
They're going to look at this right foot to see if it stepped out of bounds. If they've got indisputable evidence that it didn't, they'll give him the lunge and hit the pylon for the goal line extended. And can you tell from this view, is he touching the line?
I don't think he is, but I also don't feel like that look is indisputable. Maybe this one will give us a better look.
This is a little more definitive. It's the right foot, right.
Oh, he's out. Yep.
He appears to be out of bounds.
the call's going to stand. We can't prove it either way from these views. It'll stand short of the goal line.
Boy, but that doesn't put aside the incredible effort that time by Dylan Edwards. He broke a couple of tackles to get close to the goal line. And so far, Roddy, in the bigger picture, Colorado's run defense hasn't done what it's done in the previous 5 games.
No, the tackling in the secondary has lacked the punch that it has in previous weeks. And Kansas State has done a really nice job in their gap schemes. The schemes where you get pullers from the backside coming around to throw blocks. Done an excellent job of creating lanes for this Kansas State offense, and it's what they have to do offensively to be successful, and they've done it today.
We saw the athletic trainer a moment ago on your screen talk with Coach Sanders, just whisper something. You imagine it might have had something to do with the health and fitness level of Travis Hunter, who just came back out of the Buffalo's locker room. 2nd and goal, meanwhile, coming up. Here's the call.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was down out of bounds with the ball at the 1-yard line. Please set the game clock for 1:55, please. 1:55.
So the call stands.
Thank you.
Kansas State's not thinking like this, and they shouldn't, nor should they. But I don't think they would hate if this took a couple of plays to get in the end zone, just from a time standpoint for Colorado getting the ball back. They're able to punch this in.
Avery Johnson, at quarterback, a 1 threat in a huge way. The highest rated player ever to sign with Kansas State. Out of Wichita, Kansas. Hands it off, and Edwards completes what he started. The Wildcats take the lead. DJ Giddens picked up the first 50 yards on that drive, and then Edwards did the heavy lifting from there.
I mean, the entire left side of this offensive line just caves everything down, and the tight end, Will Ancio, really seals the deal, creates a big surge, collapses the defensive line. Dylan Edwards makes a man miss, and he's in the end zone.
That's his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season to cap an 8-play, 60-yard drive, and Kansas State with a 7-point lead, under 2 minutes to go in the opening half. They used up about 3.5 minutes on the clock. And this is their blueprint, right, Roddy? I mean, a strong running game, winning the time of possession game, keeping Shedeur Sanders off the field.
Colorado's so explosive that the recipe is to make them sit on the sideline as long as possible, and they have been incredibly successful. 179 total yards for Kansas State, 126 of that on the ground, and those big fellas up front deserve a lot of credit, as does DJ Giddens and Dylan Edwards.
Gotta love the job that Avery Johnson has done so far too. He is 7 of 8 passing the football. He was telling me earlier this week that the tipping point was the bowl game last year and the practice going into it that really gave him a sense of empowerment and imbued him with tremendous confidence, and he has carried that into this season.
Had a chance to sit and learn behind Will Howard last year, got a ton of playing time as the season went on, showed his incredible talent. This is now his team, and he has been thrust in a leadership position, and he's embraced it.
1:52 to go in the first half. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Buffaloes, starting at their own 25-yard line. For Shedeur Sanders, and hey, kick off your Week 6 NFL Sunday with the Countdown Crew. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. Our Week 6 Monday Night Football game is a big AFC East matchup. The Bills and Jets, 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes, with Peyton and Eli once again on ESPN2, and a major shakeup with the Jets this week. A little bit of an understatement.
Controversial one as well. A lot of people surprised by Robert Saleh's firing, Nathaniel Hackett's demotion from play caller.
Shedeur Sanders to pass, has a clean pocket underneath, comes to his transfer from Vandy. Shepard broke a couple of tackles out near midfield at the 47-yard line. Colorado with 2 timeouts remaining. 22-yard pickup. And they're going to move a little bit early. That's going to be a flag against the Buffaloes. Keep in mind that Travis Hunter went back into the locker room for Colorado a moment ago. Not right now, not a threat at wide receiver. That's the first Buffalo penalty of the night.
What the discussion is seemed pretty straightforward.
False start. Offense. Number 56, 5-yard penalty. Still first down. Foul includes a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 1:25.
A look at the travails of Travis Hunter.
On my signal.
Took a big hit there, and immediately after that,
Thank you.
he had to come out of the ball game and be tended to by the athletic training staff. Subsequently taken into the locker room to be tended to. Came back out, and then now has gone back in, not on the field on this down. Shedeur Sanders pulls wide open at the 35. Caught by another one of those lethal threats. Omarion Miller with the catch. And a first down with 1:11 to play. 24-yard pickup. Shedeur Sanders at times, going back to last year, has been at his best in 2-minute drills, Roddy. Eludes the rush and then sacked back at the 50-yard line. Purnell there first. As Sanders couldn't get the ball out. And a disconsolate-looking head coach, Deion Sanders. 2nd and 26.
Colorado. Their second of the half.
You mentioned the 2-minute situations a little bit ago. Pat Shurmur previously told us Shedeur Sanders calls those plays in the 2-minute situation, but these sacks that Colorado has given up have been catastrophic. They haven't been like 7-8 yard losses on the sacks.
Big.
That one a 20-yard loss. Excuse me, 16-yard loss on the sack. And for Kansas State, Brendan Mott, defensive end, number 38, has been a staple in the Colorado backfield. He's been back there constantly with his work, and the coaches kind of hinted to us that they thought somebody on that defensive line had a big chance. They didn't know who, and in the first half it's been Brendan Mott.
Now let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Capital One. What jumps off the page at you there?
I think it has to be number 2, Ohio State losing to Oregon.
Close.
Clash of the Titans up top. I just expect those teams to flip, honestly.
Yeah, we'll get a remix on that one. Shedeur gets it out this time. Underneath to Miller again. And Miller brought down short of the first down at about the 42. Parrish making the tackle. 3rd down coming up after the 7-yard gain. Looking at 3rd and 19. They have to get to the 24-yard line for the first down. Trying at least to get into field goal range for Mata or Feely. Sanders gets it out. Did not cross the line of scrimmage. There was a receiver in the area, but once again pressure from the guy you mentioned a moment ago, Brendan Mott. Let's work in Bill Lamonier. Bill, we see a flag on the field.
Yeah, they're ruling he was still in the tackle box. They're also saying there was no eligible receiver in the area. So they will have grounding, and it runs a 10-second runoff with it, too.
Yeah, that's the catch.
They completely turned Brendan Mott loose, but clearly Shedeur Sanders still in the pocket, just flinging the ball, hoping that it is somewhere in the vicinity of someone and he doesn't get called. Because if he didn't, it was going to be a sack, which is essentially the same thing that
the foul includes a 10-second subtraction. Please set the game clock to 5 seconds. The clock will start on my signal.
If I was Kansas State, I would decline the 10-second runoff Bill, doesn't Kansas State have the option to do that?
Yeah, the offended team or the opposite team does have the option with the game clock. So they could say no runoff, and then they also have the option for what to do with the game clock, starting it or not.
Well, they're going to take a 14-7 lead into the locker room, Bill. Shedeur Sanders has 15 of 16 passing, but his team down by a touchdown heading into the locker room in this pivotal game between two contenders in the Big 12. Studio with scores coming up in a minute.
You're watching the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
You're watching ESPN College Football presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. Folks, this is the Big 12 on ESPN. As we like to call it, the late night Big 12 after party. Under the lights here at Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado. 14-7 game at the break and a sold out stadium. Watching the home team trail by 7 at the break. The Wildcats will have the football to start the third quarter. Avery Johnson has done a nice job at quarterback, but most of the heavy lifting offensively has been done by DJ Giddens. He already has 127 yards of rushing for the Wildcats. That's the first rusher that's gone over 100 yards this year against the Buffaloes defense. Keep in mind that the Buffaloes have been very good this year at making halftime adjustments. From the 2-yard line, Rice. And Devin Rice is going to be stopped up shy of the 20-yard line. They'll mark it at about the 18. It'll be 1st and 10 from there for quarterback Avery Johnson. Let's go down to Quinn. What's up with Travis Hunter?
Well, that's the big question. He was injured in the second quarter. The receiver cornerback caught a ball and then was tackled solidly by a Kansas State player. He looked uncomfortable, basically tapped out, asked out. He went into the locker room, came out, went into the locker room, and stayed there. He has not returned to the field of play since halftime. He played 23 offensive snaps, 21 defensive snaps, but he missed the last 13 snaps of the second quarter. He's in the locker room. Officials tell me he is questionable. So no Travis Hunter right now, Mark.
Wow.
The ball carrier.
Well, let's take a look at the now what moments brought to you by Prudential. Yeah, now what? If Hunter is unable to finish this game, that has an impact, Roddy, on both sides of the football, especially as their leading receiver, team down 7.
Defensively, you lose maybe the #1 corner in the country. Offensively, you lose a guy who leads the Big 12 in receptions and has doubled the reception, came in with double the receptions of anybody else on this team.
Johnson behind his receiver over the middle, Jace Brown. Didn't really have a good chance at it. Sets up a quick 3rd down and 10. Avery Johnson is quick to say, I might be the fastest player on the field on any given Saturday.
And he might need to be on this 3rd down.
Yeah.
Colorado's been able to get some pressure on him. Was able to in the first half.
3rd and 10. They fake the jet sweep, and there's the speed and elusiveness. And he's going to be close to a 1st down. Let's see where they spot this. They're going to spot it right near that marker, and it's a 10-yard gain, and they're going to give him the 1st down. So there is the speed that we were talking about just a moment ago. And Johnson able to improvise. What do you make about, well, Travis Hunter is going to come out. What does it mean if he can rejoin this team now? Does he play? How many snaps? They're going to have to manage him very, very judiciously on the 1-yard gain there by Jaden Jackson.
Jaden Jackson banged up, but you see the wrap on the right shoulder of Travis Hunter.
And we have another Wildcat player this time down on the field. Can't make out who that is yet. Looks like Jaden Jackson. Writhing in a little bit of pain, and Travis Hunter putting his gloves on, perhaps ready to take the field again. Hopefully have some news on Jackson on the other side of this break. You're looking at Jaden Jackson, wide receiver for the Wildcats, shaken up on this jet sweep carry. Went down and stayed down for a couple of minutes, but able to walk off the field under his own power. Avery Johnson taking a shot, has a man. That's their second leading receiver, Jace Brown. Brought down by Shiloh Sanders, and now Jace Brown moves the chains. That's Johnson who's hurt. Quarterback Avery Johnson after that 33-yard pickup. Let's see what happened after the throw.
Delivers the ball down the field, and it looks kind of like
non-contact.
We were at Texas when Quinn Ewers had the oblique injury, threw the ball down the field and sort of grabbed his side in a similar fashion. Was non-contact, but it looked very similar.
Wow.
The type of throw where Ewers.
And there's a look at Taquan Roberson, backup quarterback. 6-foot senior from Orange, New Jersey, the UConn transfer. And boy, that looked paralyzing.
Dude.
For Avery Johnson, the way he just locked up.
And it was a fantastic throw. But there's an immediate reaction after he delivers this ball. I mean, he lets it go and
wincing in pain.
Debilitating.
Yeah. Boy, another key injury.
You know, the stars in this game, Avery Johnson's one, Travis Hunter's one, both of them injured in this game.
So it's going to be 1st and 10. Let's go quickly down to Quinn.
Well, you get your first look at Taquan Roberson, a senior transfer. Originally started his career at Penn State from 2019 to 21. Transferred to UConn, 10 starts last year for UConn. This is his first significant action for the Wildcats. Taquan Roberson.
Sends a man in motion. They're going to keep it on the ground. Giddens with a nice spin move. Picks up about 8.5, and Avery Johnson running into the Kansas State locker room to be attended to by the athletic trainer staff, holding that left side that he grabbed immediately upon throwing. Folks, if you're just joining us, he did not take a hit there. He threw the ball and then locked up. 2nd and 2. NCO sets on the left side. They're going to keep it on the ground. Giddens picks up the first down. Brought down by Hill Green. Let's take a look at tonight's Bear Paint game plan.
We knew coming in Kansas State was going to have to run the football, and DJ Giddens has done just that to the tune of 138 yards on 15 carries. He has been phenomenal tonight, and now if you're Colorado's defense, if you've been kind of selling out to stop the run, you go all in, push all the chips in, and dare Taquan Roberson to throw the football.
Looking at a 1st and 10. They keep it on the ground. This is Dylan Edwards. And Edwards picks up a tough 2 yards. Hey folks, the Lynx won a thriller on an 18-1 comeback in overtime. Thursday night, we'll have game 2 of the best of 5 WNBA finals tomorrow afternoon, with Liberty looking to tie up the series. 3 Eastern on ABC, as well as the app. WNBA Countdown tips off our coverage at 2:30, 1:30 in Minnesota. KD is a huge WNBA fan.
It's a big hoops fan, just a hooper.
Yeah.
Guy that would hoop for no money.
Yep. Loves to play. Let's not go too far away. Pass underneath. Chopped down immediately was Jace Brown. Good tackle by Hill Green. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down coming up. How important here for Colorado's defense to get a stop and get off the field?
Well, I think it's really big. Obviously, you get the ball back to your offense, and you're not potentially down 2 touchdowns. But I mean, Kansas State's already eaten up almost 5 minutes of the clock here in the 3rd quarter.
On 3rd and 7. Caught for the 1st down and then some. Brown down to the 11-yard line. 1st and 10. Wildcats. Brown with an authoritative throw here.
And it's man-to-man coverage. Jace Brown has just got to get open on an out route, but it's really good timing with the backup quarterback, Taquan Roberson, as well. And the ability to make people miss by Jace Brown on display there. But I mean, Shiloh Sanders missed 3 games before coming back to this one. It's the most missed tackles I've seen from him. Yeah. And maybe in his Colorado career. Some of that might be the rust.
And they're going to blow this play dead. We're going to have a little procedure penalty on Will Swanson.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 83, 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
9:24 to go in the 3rd quarter. This is the opening drive of the period for Kansas State. They have been metronomic, meticulous on this drive. Moving the ball down the field, primarily on the ground, but at times showing good balance. 1st and 15. Incomplete, intended for Spivey on the slant. Sets up a 2nd down, pardon me. Yeah, 2nd down and 15. Well, Roberson, as Quentin pointed out, has played a lot of important football in his time at DePaul and at UConn. He'd only thrown 3 passes coming to the game, and there's Avery Johnson, starting quarterback, coming out of the locker room.
Running a lot better than he was when he went in. It's a good sign for Kansas State.
On 2nd and 15, Giddens breaks it into the boundary. Shiloh Sanders with a touchdown saving tackle that time at about the 4. Good block by Hecht out front.
This is a small running back thing, but DJ Giddens has a massive hole that's going to develop on the left side. But watch where the ball is. It's in his right hand. Ball's right here. It's in his right hand, and Shiloh Sanders is going to be coming from inside out. If that ball's in his left hand, then you got a weapon on the inside, a stiff arm potential, and maybe you get in the end zone. Just a little thing that he'll be coached on Monday.
Details. 3rd and 3. Roberson hands it off to Giddens. The DJ spinning within the shadow of the end zone, picks up the 1st down, but no signal yet for a touchdown. Did we get a touchdown?
Well, it looked like the near side official, the line judge, signaled touchdown.
The previous play is under further review. One on the field is a touchdown.
Let's bring in Bill Lamagna to take a look at this touchdown run. It was called a touchdown on the field. Seemed to be some indecision by the officials making the call.
The official at the top of the screen came in, marking it a bit short, and this is going to show you he is short. The knee's down, it's not in. The official on the near side here, though, probably didn't see that knee down, just saw the stretch, and he went touchdown. But this will be reversed. It's coming back to the 1 or 2 yard line.
All right, thanks a lot, Bill. Yeah, I was eyeing the official closest to the play who did not give a touchdown signal.
And the interesting thing will be where they spot it, because Kansas State could get a 1st down inside the 1 yard line and have a 1st and goal from the 1, or it could be 2nd and short from like the 1.5.
But that guy right there, DJ Giddens, has done an incredible job running the football tonight. Already at 154 yards rushing. The first rusher that's gained over 100 this year against that Buffalo defense. Giddens, a man of few words, but he really opens up a lot for their offense. When you look at his ability to run the ball, it gives Avery Johnson a lot more options, right?
It does, and the thing that you want out of a running back is to get more than the play is blocked for. So the offensive line can only do so much, and if they block up everybody who's in the scheme, and the first guy you encounter is at 6 yards, the play was blocked for 6. So if you only get 6, like I can find anybody to do that. The thing that DJ Giddens does is when it's blocked for 6, he gets you 16.
Right.
Because he can break that first tackle. He has been an absolute workhorse. He's one of the best backs in the country, and I don't think he gets the credit for it because there's no flash to this Kansas State team. So they often go overshadowed by flashier programs.
Avery Johnson in the huddle. We might see him come back in shortly. You see those flowing locks out of the back of his helmet. We asked him his nickname. He said it's Sunshine. Some of you may have seen the movie.
We asked him if he had seen the movie. That movie came out in the 90s.
After further review, the runner was down short of the 1 yard line, which was the line to gain. It will be 4th down from that spot.
So 4th down, not first down.
Yeah, excuse me.
Wow. I thought he had picked up at least the first down as well. Because he could have picked up a first down without scoring a touchdown. You see the approximate first down line there at the 1.
It's a big decision for Kansas State. Avery Johnson back in the offensive huddle. You can see just barely short, but it looks like it might be Avery Johnson back in for this play for Kansas State.
Roberson did a nice job while in there.
He did do a nice job.
Yeah.
Really nice. Some good deliveries. Now you turn it over back to the starter.
We'll have to keep an eye and monitor his mobility here. They're 1 of 1 on 4th down conversions tonight. At the noisy end of the field. Giddens. Short of the end zone.
But I think he got the first down. All he had to do was get inside the 1 yard line. And I think he did that. This crowd went crazy as if they thought it was 4th and goal. But they could get a first down inside the 1. And they got it.
Yeah, we said that. So it's 4th and 1st and goal. Just had to get to the 1 yard line to move the chains.
They contact him in the backfield, but the lunge by Giddens clearly gets him inside the 1 yard line.
1st and goal coming up. Giddens, nothing doing. That defense intransigent up the middle. Non-negotiable that time. Setting up a 2nd down and goal. The guy they call the block bully, Chidozie Nwankwo, making the tackle. Number 97. Really the spirit of that defensive front.
If you're Kansas State, I don't know why you go away from that, though.
Yeah.
Continue to hand the ball off to 31. Continue to trust that big offensive line.
Second and goal. Brown in motion. Brown breaks the plane or not. Touchdown. The Wildcats put it in the end zone. Jace Brown had a touchdown last week, or pardon me, in their last game, and scores another one here.
Question
on
is,
the field is that the runner was down with the ball, causing when it came loose for a
Tremendous
touchdown.
job to extend his arms and break the plane. Bill, what's your evaluation of this?
He's extended the ball over the goal line plane. It's an excellent call. He had full possession of the ball. It's an excellent call for a touchdown.
and once that ball's across the plane, touchdown plays over. Once it hits the ground, it pops loose, but that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. The touchdown's already been scored.
Avery Johnson goes to his roommate for the touchdown reception, Jace Brown. Two of those guys have great chemistry between them. That's his second touchdown of the season, the 5th of his career. And Kansas State up by a couple of touchdowns. Great effort by Brown. Yeah, strike a pose. They deserve it. Back after this. Hey, this season, Allstate will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. Let's go downstairs to Quint for more.
Interesting, during that timeout, Travis Hunter is down on the sideline. He was actually watching video of the hit that caused his shoulder injury with some of the medical personnel. Travis now walking on the sideline. He does not have a helmet in his hands. Other injury news for the Buffaloes, the hits keep coming. Jimmy Horn, I've been told, is very doubtful to return to this ball game. So you add it up, that's their two best receivers, Travis Hunter and Jimmy Horn.
Wow. They have been pivotal and critical for Colorado this season. They'll take it 1st and 10, yeah.
Injuries on both sides. It's going to be about attrition after a while.
So let me ask you this, Roddy. Back to Travis Hunter. He's a two-way player, but if they do decide to use him judiciously, do you use him on offense or defense down 14 points?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen at all. But if he does come back on the field, I think you have to use him on offense down 14. And Kansas State's doing most of the damage on the ground. He's not going to help you a ton there. And with Jimmy Horn out, I mean, if you can get him at all, then you'd love to have him on offense, but looks like he is content on the sideline.
3-man rush for the Wildcats. Shedeur gets it out quickly. Complete. What a move by Shepard. Oh, he hit him with the sauce all the way out to midfield. And a 1st and 10 for the Buffaloes. Will Shepard, who's made so many big plays, and we have another player shaken up.
Officials timeout for an injury.
Justice James for the Wildcats missed the tackle after that 25-yard catch and run by Will Shepard, the transfer from Vanderbilt.
I mean, this really might be about attrition by the end of it.
Wow.
Jimmy Horn, Travis Hunter currently not in the game. On the Kansas State side, we've seen Avery Johnson go to the locker room. Jaden Jackson banged up. We haven't seen him back since his injury.
And these are two teams that come off a rest week, right?
Yeah.
Kind of goes against conventional thinking.
You got healthy during the bye week, only to come out in this game. And both teams are going to leave with some pretty significant dings.
It'll be 1st and 10 right at midfield. Shedeur Sanders, meanwhile, has connected on his last 13 consecutive passes as Avery Johnson comes back out of the locker room for the 2nd time tonight. Sanders pulls it out on the slant, complete down to the 35. Same guy, the remix from Will Shepard. A 15-yard gain this time. And another player slow to get up. That's Keenan Garber, the starting cornerback for the Wildcats.
There's been a lot of discussion. The Colorado fans don't like it because feigning injuries has been a big topic of discussion in college football. It doesn't, cornerbacks don't do it.
Right.
Especially when you had a corner just go out.
Okay.
That's a position that's not as interchangeable as a defensive lineman going down. That was not a slow down the tempo type of injury.
Oh, his leg locked up. That
immediately.
Well, you know, hamstring cramp. 6:11 to go. Buffalo's with the ball in the 35. The Wildcats in the midst of a 21-0 scoring run after trailing 7-0. Sanders on the receiver screen, complete. Got a wave of blockers down to the 21-yard line. That's Omarion Miller. Little jailbreak screen there, or tunnel screen. And they move the chains again, Roddy. A 13-yard gain and another Wildcat player shaken up. That's Marquise Siegel. This isn't the scenario where you usually, as some would say, fake an injury, right?
You're playing with two backups at corner, so you don't want your starting safety going down for a play at all. This is not one of those fake injury situations. Seems like, or one would think that if you wanted someone to go down with injury, it would be someone that was a little more dispensable.
Hey, Roddy, just a reminder for everybody that we are at altitude 5,280 feet approximately.
As you pull out the oxygen.
Yeah, I get my oxygen can I've been using. Hey, folks, if you don't think that it makes a difference playing it at altitude, it does, and it's not always a great thing for your body. See these things here? These are oxygen cans that yours truly bought yesterday. You put this. I got a tip from our director, Anthony DeMarco. He says if you have a low-grade headache, which is an effect of the altitude a lot of times, you get yourself a little oxygen.
And you just take put it over your mouth, take a big puff of it, and how do you feel now? Feel a little better?
Great. I feel really good.
I bet you do.
This is oxygen. It's oxygen, folks.
And look, there is some frustration nationwide about the faking of injuries, and when you have guys go down on 3 consecutive plays, I can see why you would, if you were the Colorado fans, feel like that's what's happening here. I don't think that's what's happening. I think you have had 3 players have various levels of injury.
You would hope that fans would be compassionate to begin. On another bizarre night here. Now that's a quarterback of the people right there. Avery Johnson getting a selfie with a fan.
Not a lot of sidelines that are close enough for a fan to hand a player his cell phone and the player to easily hand it back. But here in Colorado, you're basically in the stands when you're on the sideline, and the stands basically go right up to the bench.
Love me an interactive quarterback. Tunnel screen again. This time blown up. Miller with not much room for the run after the catch. Steiger with the stop. No gain on the play. That oxygen thing works pretty good, right?
I'm glad. I was going to ask.
Don't knock the hustle.
But I don't want to share the germs.
I would have asked you. 2nd and 10 coming up.
McKendry Steiger just coming in the game for Marquise Siegel, making a nice play.
You wonder if Shedeur Sanders might go after one of the new DBs that came in. Gets it off wide open. Shepard dropped it. That is the second deleterious drop that he's had. He dropped one late against Baylor, if you remember. Wow.
It's been the one thing that's plagued Will Shepard this year, that the untimely drops.
Oh, wow.
Felt like he was setting up his next move before he reeled the ball in. But you have to flush it. I mean, with the top, he's the top target. He and LeJontay West are still in the game.
They come with a blitz this time. Sanders, what a catch! Open is Miller. And pushed out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. They move the chains. And another Wildcat player shaken up. The list of the infirmed continues here. Wow.
And this Jacob Parrish, watch the middle of your screen. You're going to get 2 Kansas State players just running right into each other. Jacob Parrish, one of the starting corners. Watch the grab.
That's a great catch by Miller. And the run afterwards. But, man, when you get hurt taking on friendly fire,
that's the ones that you don't expect.
Jeez.
You know, when you're a defensive player, any player, you sort of react and move to the other color, the opposite jersey color, flashing in front of you out of the corner of your eye. When it's your guy, you certainly react to it as it gets close if you can see it coming, but it doesn't ring the same alarm bells.
Yeah. I'm losing count, Roddy. What is that? 3 different Kansas State players hurt on this drive?
4. And
4.
Keenan Garber has come back into the game, the corner number 1. But
I ask you again, if you're Shedeur, do you keep inventory and try and go after the new DBs that are coming in?
It's been so many. Can you keep track?
Yeah, that too. First and goal for the Buffaloes. Sanders pulls. Touchdown. Shepard. Atonement. Nothing takes the sting out of a drop like a touchdown catch a couple of plays later for Will Shepard. His second touchdown catch of the season. The 23rd of his career for the Vandy transfer. And the Buffaloes with an impressive drive. 7 plays, 75 yards. And then the 7-yard touchdown catch.
This was the drop. And then Will Shepard with another chance. He had a crucial drop at the end of the Baylor game. Said he came to the sideline and told Coach Prime, I'm back in the UCF game. And you know what Coach Prime told him? You never left, baby. You never left.
Welcome back, everyone, to Folsom Field here in Boulder. Colorado with a touchdown on the previous drive. This is going to be returned by Devin Rice. Up the right side of the field, got an alley, still on his feet and hit out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Nice return that time by Rice. As we take a look at our player spotlight, brought to you by Cintas. Avery Johnson, 9 of 11 passing. He's made some timely runs as well. How do you reconcile Shedeur's numbers, Roddy? 21 of 23, but they're down by 7.
It feels like they're barely hanging on, and Shedeur Sanders has been nearly perfect throwing the football. But it's really because he's been on the sideline. An 8-minute drive by Kansas State started this second half, and DJ Giddens has got a career-high 207.
No Travis Hunter in on defense. Giddens, man, that must be jelly because Jam doesn't shake like that. What a move. He left a defender defenseless. Giddens with a nice chunk of yardage, 15. Look at this.
It's the definition of contact balance. Once again, he's got Shedeur. Shedeur. I'm Shiloh. I got the wrong Sanders brother. It shook me to my core.
Oh, sorry. He dropped him like a Kendrick diss track that time. Wow. What a move by Giddens, who continues to pile up the yardage, headed towards 200. We get a timeout on the field.
Timeout. Colorado. They're first in the half.
You know what Giddens said to Shiloh here? He said, 21. Can you do something for me?
Make it shake.
Oh.
It's going to be tough film for Shiloh Sanders to watch on Sunday or Monday. Carmelo Anthony's looking like, well, what are you going to do? You got him in the hole, and he gives you the 1-2.
Melo with a little regional bias, of course. Played locally for the Nuggets, and KD enjoying what's going on in the sidelines. There is no scene, folks, like a Colorado-Buffalo football game when you count up the amount of Hall of Fame athletes on the sidelines. It really is. It feels like an award show every time you come through.
Just off the top of my head, you got Deion Sanders, Warren Sapp, Terrell Owens is here, Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, future Hall of Famer.
Saw Cameron earlier. Here's Giddens, who's turning into a big-time star as well tonight. Shiloh Sanders with a nice hit on Giddens. Didn't miss that time. 3-yard gain by Giddens. Over 170 yards rushing tonight. And consuming that clock. But Shiloh really is the spirit, the backbone of that defense, especially in the secondary.
He is, and the reason why is he's usually a very good tackler. Today has been a tough night for him trying to tackle DJ Giddens, who's gotten him every which way.
Avery Johnson a pass. Backside pressure, and they sack him at the 46. B.J. Green. That's the 4th sack for the Buffaloes. Sets up a 3rd and long.
But watch the route by Will Swanson, who's just going to be on a little drag. He is wide open right in front of Avery Johnson. Deliver the football, but Johnson looked like he was looking down the field, but he had a ton of real estate. Instead, it ends in a sack and a 3rd and long.
Johnson underneath to Jackson on the move, trying to get to the marker. Let's see where they spot it. It was close. They're going to give him a spot that comes up a little bit short or close.
Oh, it looks like they were waiting.
He got it. He got it. Jace Brown provided a little block on the edge, too, for the 14-yard gain. Here's another look.
Watch number 1. Just that little nudge is able to get just enough for Jaden Jackson, who we saw leave the game. Good to see him back in and making a play.
Previous play is under further review. The one on the field was at the line the gain was made.
This is going to be a very interesting spot when they go back and review this play. With 2:06 to go in the 3rd quarter, and what is shaping up like another time-consuming drive for the Wildcats. They are clearly winning the time of possession tonight. Almost 26 minutes to 16 minutes for Colorado. And Avery Johnson seems to be recovered enough from whatever was ailing him a little bit earlier that caused him to go into the locker room twice.
The way it looked when he initially went down, we feared that it was some sort of strain that could keep him out.
There's another look at the spot. Let's bring in Bill Lamonnier, our rules analyst. What do you make of that lunge at the end, Bill?
You guys are challenging me tonight.
This is a tough one.
Hey.
I thought it was back on the field, but he stretches out there and his right hand goes down out of bounds. So where's the football at that point? Without a straight down shot down the line, it's going to be difficult. But it appears to me the ball is short, based on where the hand out of bounds is and where the ball is behind it.
So there was indisputable evidence to overturn the call on the field, which stands, which means 1st down, Kansas State.
You are right, though. This drive does feel like one of those time-consuming, keep the Colorado offense on the sideline and keep this Colorado defense frustrated with its inability to get off the field. I mean, Kansas State, so far today, 5 of 9 on 3rd downs, with a few 4th down conversions on top of that as well.
1st and 10. Giddens on the carry. Falls forward for a yard, maybe 2. Silman Craig making the tackle on the play. If you're just joining us, Travis Hunter has not played in the second half of this football game, suffering from an injury after taking a blow to his right shoulder. And that's a big piece of their defense and offense. Play clock below 10. Johnson's going to hand it off to Giddens again. Falls forward for about 2 yards, sets up a 3rd and about 7 or 6 to go. Okunlola making the tackle on the play from Brockton, Massachusetts. 1 yard gain, 3rd and 8.
Feels like the biggest 3rd down of the night for Colorado's defense. And they need this crowd to be as rowdy as they've been all night to make it tough on Kansas State offensively.
Jackson in motion. Johnson comes back the other way. Giddens dropped it. He dropped it. He was wide open. And it sets up a 4th down and 8. Within field goal range. Remember, as I pointed out, with the oxygen tube, they are at altitude. The ball travels faster, but boy, that's a catchable ball.
TJ Giddens has essentially done no wrong in this game until that. He was one-on-one with Shiloh Sanders. Between him and the end zone, crucial drop.
Chris Tennant from 48 yards out. No doubt. Drills it to increase the lead to 2 scores, 10 points, with 28 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Well, folks, there's the Taco Bell Live Más student section that right now is a little bit concerned. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Kansas State, a ranked opponent, coming in number 18. A win for them tonight, and they're right back on track after that loss at BYU, who, by the way, is undefeated in conference play. What do you make of the play? What kind of grade would you give Avery Johnson almost 3/4 into this game?
I'd give him a B+.
Okay.
You know, there's throws that he's made that coming into this game have been inconsistent for him. He's run when he's had to, although since the injury, I don't think we've seen him take off. But he's managed the game well. I think the crew that gets an A+ is the offensive line and the run game.
Yeah.
And DJ Giddens, we might have to downgrade him to just an A after the 3rd down drop. Tough grader. Get out the red pen.
I'm glad you weren't marking my college papers. I'd still be in school. As for Colorado, what's at stake for them? Well, a win tonight against a ranked opponent. Validation, elevation, and potentially a top 25 ranking, Roddy?
I think it's well within the realm of possibility, particularly when you consider that the best player in college football, Travis Hunter, hasn't played for the majority of this game at this point.
Shedeur Sanders is going to have to use all of his ordnance and weaponry on offense to keep this thing close without Travis Hunter, his leading receiver. Hayden in the backfield.
Jimmy Horn, the number 2 receiver, also out of the game as well.
Huge. They've been able to keep Shedeur upright, though, here in the 3rd quarter. Steps up and sacked again. They have been in his chest like bronchitis. I mean, all over him.
I think
that's the 5th sack.
I think the bronchitis might have made its way a little bit lower and become pneumonia.
Yeah.
Permanent bother in his chest, nearly.
Oh. Ryan Davis with the sack that time.
Illegal formation, 5 players in the backfield. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Coach Sanders says we can't afford to beat ourselves because the Wildcats don't make mistakes. This is what I mean by being in his chest all night.
And it's felt like Brendan Mott is basically pitched a tent in the backfield. He has been there all night long. But you've had a number of players get in on it, including Asa Newsome and most recently Ryan Davis.
Augustov with the run that time picks up about 3 yards, and that's going to do it for the first 45 minutes of play. Colorado down by 10 points on their home field, which begs the question, does Shedeur have another Brady mode moment left? With Hall of Famers and All-Stars on the sidelines watching. We'll find out in these final 15 minutes when we come back. Under the lights in Boulder, Colorado, you're watching ESPN College Football, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. The Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week with DeAndre Jordan and Russell Westbrook of the Denver Nuggets. Watching on the sideline, Shedeur Sanders on 1st and 10. Drills a rope complete to Omarion Miller. Out to the 46-yard line, and a first down for Sanders and his offense.
Big third down conversion. 3rd and long. You got zone coverage. Omarion Miller, who had a massive game last year against USC, 196 yards, capable of filling in. He's filling in for Jimmy Horn. Nice job by him finding a soft spot in the zone.
And for Travis Hunter. Shedeur Sanders back to pass. And he got rid of it. Nobody in the vicinity. And we're going to have an intentional grounding penalty here.
Stop at this spot. 2nd down.
So they're going to roll forward progress rather than the intentional grounding. But Shedeur Sanders, it looked like he felt like he was going to be able to roll out of it. But the roll actually, when he spun, he rolled into the sack.
Yeah, Stufflebean was right there, number 47, to meet him.
Watch Shedeur. He feels like he can spin out, but the block actually comes blocking him out.
Right, you pointed out earlier, Kansas State is running a lot of games.
A lot of twists and stunts up front. That one, I think they actually picked it up pretty well. It was late, but Shedeur tried to bail, and it ended up in another catastrophic sack.
That's the 6th one of the game. Downfield, Miller with the catch, and a first down at the 20-yard line. Omarion, and he's slow to get up.
Officials timeout.
A 51-yard pickup, and his quarterback is the first one down there to check on him. And here comes coach as well. We have had a litany of injuries here in the second half on seemingly harmless plays, some of them. Well, good to see him get up at least.
He's favoring that left leg, and there was a lot of turf that came up when the tackle was made. Like that leg might have gotten caught under him.
Got brought down in an awkward position.
Those are scary. What you hope is that the initial scare is what keeps him on the ground, and then as it goes, it's not as severe as it seems, although he's unable to put any weight on it, being helped off.
That would be their top 3 receivers going to the sidelines due to injury. Jimmy Horn is out. Travis Hunter is out. And now there's a look at Horn and Miller being taken off the field. Meanwhile, that was the longest play of the game tonight for Colorado.
After a massive sack.
Sanders gets it out over the middle, overthrows him, and right into the arms of the safety for the interception. Payne brings it out to the 25. That ball just sailed on Sanders. And that's the 2nd interception of the season for VJ Payne.
VJ Payne's in the middle of the field. He's just playing center field. He's got his eyes on Shedeur Sanders, who, because of the pressure at his feet, just overthrows this. It's just a miss. It's one of the few misses that we've seen during this game by Shedeur, but it ends what looked like a very promising drive.
They were on the fringes of the red zone. Instead, it'll come back 1st and 10. That's the 5th interception for the Wildcats defense this season. 1st and 10 coming back the other way. Dylan Edwards. Let's go down to Q, who was with Coach Sanders a moment ago.
Coach, what's going on with the run defense?
We got to stop the run. We're missing our gaps, no gap integrity. We just got to do a better job up front, as well as in the secondary. We're missing a ton of tackles as well.
How are you dealing with no Travis Hunter and no Jimmy Horn?
Oh, that's not easy whatsoever. But we got the players that can step right in and do the job. Next man up.
Thank you.
Coach Sanders with the "what me worry" look. 2nd and 9. Travis Hunter watching from the sidelines. Bentley making the tackle that time on Dylan Edwards. A yard gain on the play.
This defense has to stop Kansas State here. Kansas State's really controlled the ball in the second half. Now you've got them in a 3rd and long. They're going to get back in this game. This defense is going to have to come up with some stops, and it's got to start here.
An incredible difference in the time of possession tonight. That pretty much tells the story. They go empty formation. Avery Johnson pulls to Giddens, met immediately at about the 32 by Silman. Correct, that's short of the first down, so the Colorado defense will get off the field here and force the punt. The clock running, just under 12 minutes to play.
And most importantly, they were excellent against the run on the first 2 plays of the drive to set up the 3rd and long, where Johnson throws it short to Giddens, and then you make a tackle.
3rd punt of the night for Wildcats punter. On 4th and 4. And a fair catch called back at the 27-yard line by LeJontay Wester. Shedeur Saunders going to take the field again. His team down by 10. Looking for that 5th win of the season. Now we honor those who serve, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union, a consensus All-American halfback for the Colorado Buffaloes and runner-up for the Heisman Trophy in 1937. Byron White graduated from the University of Colorado as class valedictorian, served as an intelligence officer in the Navy, and was stationed overseas in the Pacific Theater. For his service, White was awarded 2 Bronze Star medals, and look at that stellar resume. Served on the U.S. Supreme Court from 62 to 93. He has literally done it all, Q.
If you wrote a movie about it, people wouldn't believe it. The son of a beef farmer, the epitome of a scholar athlete, not only the runner-up for the Heisman Trophy in 1937, played basketball. He hit 400, Roddy, for the baseball team. Punter, punt returner. World War II, his boat was attacked by a kamikaze late in the Pacific battle, and he put out the fire himself. That's why he was awarded the Bronze Stars. But went to Yale Law School, and then, as you said, served on the Supreme Court. Passed in Denver in 2002, and was a great advocate for desegregation of the public schools and affirmative action while in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, he has an unrivaled list of accomplishments, Roddy, when you look at the big one. We couldn't even fit Yale Law School on his resume there.
Well, I didn't know Quint brought a scroll to read off his entire resume. Unbelievable, a life well lived. And any one of those things make you a Hall of Fame person, but all of them together make you one of the most special people to ever serve for this country.
Facts. 2nd and 10. Shedeur Sanders looking to pull, dropping back. Flag down. Throws it away. This time it went beyond the line of scrimmage. There was a receiver in the area, but let's see what this flag is about. 9:40 to play. Colorado down by 10. And it's going to go against the Buffaloes for holding.
Holding, offense, number 55, 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's going to go against Kareem Harden.
The 55 is right here, and it's going to be against Toby Osunsanmi. Just grabs 44 as he goes past.
Yeah.
I mean, he held on for dear life as long as he could.
Yeah, if you're going to hold, make sure you really hold him.
Yeah. Kareem Harden getting the start at right guard. Khalil Benson's been injured. He's questionable coming into this game. So Harden got the start.
Shedeur Sanders back to pass, under duress again. Steps up into the pocket, tucks it under, and gets down safely finally at the 42-yard line. And bounces back up quickly, setting up a 3rd down after that 13-yard run. Under 9.5 minutes to play.
The alarming thing is Osunsanmi was in the backfield almost immediately again. Another big 3rd down, certainly 4-down territory for Colorado here.
Miller and Shepard have been the primary targets in the absence of Horn and Hunter. Sanders has to get rid of it, does. Incomplete, but there's a flag in the vicinity of Will Shepard trying to make the catch, working against Keenan Garber. And there's a flag all the way back at the 46 as well.
It's going to be at least defensive pass interference, and the other flag is in the vicinity of holding. And there was pressure on Shedeur again.
There are fouls on both teams. Holding an offense, number 77. Pass interference defense, number 1. Those penalties offset. Still third down.
So we'll do it again with 8:55 to go in the fourth.
The pressure on Shedeur has been concerning all night, but now they're getting it without bringing an extra player.
It feels like it's getting worse if you're a Colorado fan, right?
It is. Early on, it was when they were bringing an extra defender, a linebacker, or a defensive back on a blitz. But now they're content to only bring 4 and still getting that pressure.
3rd and 7. They've got to get to the 35. Obviously in 4-down territory. Open in the flat. Caught out of the backfield and a lunge. Did he make it? A gust of lunging, and they're going to say it's 4th down. They're going to mark it about 3 yards shy back at the 40. Pardon me, the 37.
Watch the left foot of Augusto.
Yeah, he stepped out of bounds, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Out of bounds right there prior to the lunge. It's a good call by our officiating crew. They've been on it today. I got to give this.
We don't need Bill for this one.
No, we don't. Bill, we got this one.
Bill Lamagna has been with us all night. 4th
They
down
have
and
had
3.
a great game tonight, though.
Thanks for your help, Bill.
Colorado on 4th down today, 1 of 1, but 3 of 9 for the season.
And the Buffaloes are going to call one of their 2 remaining timeouts. The Brain Trust will strategize with a tipping point, a defining moment for the Buffaloes tonight on the other side of this. Back under the lights.
ESPN College Football is presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. 19 hotel brands, 1 loyalty program. Download the app. And in part by Mercedes-Benz.
Back under the lights here at Folsom Field. Elevation 5,280 feet. The expectations running as high as the elevation here for the Colorado Buffaloes, but right now down by 10, looking at a 4th down and 3. What are you thinking in terms of a play call here if you're the Buffaloes?
Well, because of all the injuries, I think you're looking for 1 of 2 people. Will Shepard one-on-one to the top, or LaJohntay Wester second from the bottom, number 10 in the slot.
They motion out of the backfield. Sanders with time, got it delivered, does, and finds his man, Wester, for the 1st down. They stay alive. A 14-yard pickup. Boy, you saw him go right through his entire progression there.
Yeah, it's really good protection and a good movement in the pocket to eventually let Wester come free.
On 1st and 10, clean pocket. A bullet inside the 10 to Miller this time. It's going to be 1st and goal, Buffaloes. And Sanders in hurry-up mode. A pickup of 17.
When you get to the second half of these kinds of games, quarterbacks got to make big throws down the stretch. 2 of them from Shedeur Sanders on back-to-back plays.
Hayden in the backfield. Rolling out into the end zone, overshoots his receiver, and there's going to be a flag down. This is going to be roughing the passer against the Wildcats. Purnell. Boy, and this was a team and is a team that usually doesn't beat itself with these types of penalties, Roddy.
Personal foul, roughing the passer defense, number 32. Half guns from goal and an automatic. First down.
Well, good discernment by Sanders to throw it out of bounds. And get a free one.
And look, that has not been the case, though, on the road.
Right.
In their 2 road games prior to this, at Tulane and at BYU, 8 penalties in each of those games. They have been one of the least penalized teams in the country when they're at home, but on the road, uncharacteristic mistakes.
First and goal. Sanders, 2 guys in his face, incomplete.
I don't know that there was an eligible receiver in the area of that one.
Didn't look like there was one.
Like a bunch of linemen. A lot of 70, 50, and 60 numbers.
The officials are going to adjudicate this last play and decide. But there were 2 defenders in his face immediately. Here's the call.
The pass was legal since the quarterback's hand was hit and it changed the trajectory of the ball. Second down.
There's the explanation. Sets up a second and goal. Quarterback's hand was hit.
Sticking right, comes back to the left. Yeah, it's a good call.
They get rid of it quickly. Onto the edge, Miller. Going to be brought down shy of the end zone by Garber. Trellin Miller makes it 3rd down and goal. And it looks like they're spotted right around the 2-yard line. Colorado with just a singular timeout remaining, under 7 minutes to play.
And hold the phones. Colorado has 2 tight ends in the game. A rare sight.
The 12 personnel. They're going to ride it into the end zone. Touchdown, Gustav. Gustav with his first rushing touchdown of the season, the 2nd of his career, capping a 72-yard drive. Alejandro Mata in for the extra point. Back to a 1-score game. And it's a field goal deficit. The Wildcats up by 3. Sanders handed it off and then did a little work after that, Roddy.
I just need a little bit extra behind you to get in the end zone.
I see what you did there behind you.
Yeah. He knows that success is in front of him.
Back for the final 6:44 here in Boulder, Colorado. Kansas State leading by a field goal after the Buffaloes put it into the end zone a moment ago. Dylan Edwards, number 3, back for this kick, along with Devin Rice, the freshman. Edwards hoping to make a successful return here to Boulder, where he played a season ago. They'll take the touchback, 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line for quarterback Avery Johnson, who tonight has only thrown the ball 14 times, completing 11 of those passes. What does Kansas State have to do here to put this game on ice, Roddy?
Run the football.
Okay.
They've had 298 total yards, 179 of that has been on the ground. And last time out, it was Dylan Edwards on 1st and 2nd down. DJ Giddens didn't get the first 2 carries, and it was the only 3 and out for Kansas State. Edwards in once again in the backfield, but he's going to split out wide.
Johnson a pass to Edwards, who couldn't squeeze it. and he was hit there on the corner. It was jarred loose as well by Silman Craig. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. How important is a 3-and-out here for the Buffaloes defensively?
They need to stop, and a 3-and-out would help with the confidence and momentum. Once again, DJ Giddens not in the game. You wonder if there's something going on.
Yeah. They've done it on the ground tonight. You see the graphic. Johnson to pass, complete. Brown with room out near midfield. And he moves the chains with the 1st down catch and run. A clutch delivery by Avery Johnson for 23 yards.
That's a big-time throw. They needed a conversion. They needed to calm this crowd down. And it's an excellent delivery on an RPO by Avery Johnson. He's come under some fire at times for the inconsistency in his accuracy, but that a big-time throw here in the 4th quarter.
We talked about Giddens. He's back in the ball game in the backfield. On 1st and 10, gets the carry, looking for a crease, and picks up about 4, close to 5 yards. This a tipping point once again for the young quarterback Avery Johnson, the sophomore from Wichita, Kansas. His head coach, Kleiman, believes in him to the fullest, says he has that it factor.
There's a reason that the torch was going to be passed to Avery Johnson from Will Howard this year. Not only the athletic skills, but also the fact that he's built for moments like these.
They come out in an empty formation. Gets out of it in time, gets the ball out. Catch and run by the tight end, Garrett Oakley, and another Wildcat 1st down, silencing the crowd here in Boulder. Shiloh Sanders making the tackle.
That's just too easy for Kansas State.
Feels
Garrett
like pitch and catch right now.
There was nobody over him. It looked like one of the linebackers should have gotten out underneath that route. But nobody around. You can't have that in clutch time in the 4th quarter.
12-yard pickup. 1st and 10 from the Colorado 35. DJ Giddens back in the ball game at tailback. Johnson in motion. It's going to be Giddens dancing between the tackles down to the 31-yard line. Stopped up by Levante Bentley. Colorado has 1 timeout remaining. There's a look at the defensive coordinator, Robert Livingston. First one of the Cincinnati Bengals for the Buffaloes. On 2nd and 6, pressure. Johnson fires high, incomplete. So Livingston dialed up a little bit of smoke that time, right?
And Colorado got away with one because there was a confusion in coverage. Cameron Silman Craig, look down here to the bottom. There's nobody over the slot receiver. Will Swanson, he's wide open if he just turns around. So Colorado got away with one because of the pressure in Avery Johnson's face, setting up, once again, the biggest 3rd down of the game.
Pressure on Johnson, incomplete. So the Buffaloes will get off the field. Hill Green got a hand up and batted it down, but good pressure up front from BJ Green. Number 35.
BJ Green just comes free off the edge. There's not enough blockers, and Nakai Hill-Green gets a hand up. Kansas State leaving the offense on the field. I wonder if they're going to try and draw Colorado off sides, or will you actually run a play? Play clock running down.
Below 10 already, it's 6. And the Wildcats are going to burn a timeout here, one of their 3 remaining ones.
Timeout. Kansas State.
Tennant's longest field goal comes from 48 this year. Career long is 51. Hey, coming up next on SportsCenter, showdown Saturday in the SEC. Bama survives against South Carolina while Texas rules Oklahoma. Plus, highlights of the battle for the Big Ten supremacy between Ohio State and Oregon. And the Guardians slammed their way past the Tigers, Ace. And a must-see grand slam that sent them to the ALCS. SportsCenter next. And on the ESPN app, it's past 1:30 a.m. in the East. This is why we call it the Big 12 after party.
Because the only people that are watching are the people leaving the parties. Hopefully more people are catching this because we've got some drama here.
Big play coming up. Avery Johnson still on the field. And the sellout crowd going to go to work. Johnson almost picked off. It is! Jumped and picked off. Hood! Colton Hood stumbles and falls. Colton Hood is the player in for the injured Travis Hunter, and a friendly carom here, Roddy.
It's a forced bad throw because of the pressure. And then Colton Hood does the hard part. He makes everybody miss, and it's him in the open field. Preston Hodges' foot may have gotten in the way, but the pressure by Robert Livingston, the fading by Avery Johnson, the tip, and Colton Hood is Johnny on the spot and almost takes it to the house.
This Colorado team is used to playing frenetic finishes. Time and again, just like Stanford a season ago, just like Colorado State a season ago, just like Baylor this season, winning the game on a Hail Mary. 1st and 10, under 4 minutes to go. From the 17, Sanders. Complete at the 11-yard line. That's Timmons Jr. with the catch. And he comes up hobbling a little bit. He was working against Justice James.
Shedeur Sanders was also slow to get up after getting hit. But this is a guy in Shedeur Sanders working without his top 2 receivers, Travis Hunter and Jimmy Horn. Omarion Miller, who had exploded in this game, also left the game. He's doing it with a bunch of guys. It wouldn't have started.
2nd and 4. Sanders, quick release, complete. They go ahead. Wester. Wester with his 2nd touchdown reception of the night. And Colorado once again trying to accomplish the implausible and the improbable comeback. 3:12 to go, and they lead by 4.
It's man-to-man coverage, and the question has been, can you cover these players in man-to-man? It's a nice throw by Shedeur Sanders, putting it right between the 1 and the 0. And LaJohntay Wester does the rest against Daniel Cobbs, one of the reserve defensive backs in the game because of the injuries that they've suffered. He is fired up knowing that he just put his team ahead by 4. Kansas State now needs a touchdown to go ahead after controlling much of this game and having an 8-minute drive to start the second half, with Shedeur Sanders and the Colorado defense coming up big in the 4th quarter.
This was all catalyzed by the interception by Colton Hood, who's in for Travis Hunter. And as for Shedeur Sanders, 378 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. It must be Saturday. He's doing it again. They're going to bring it out of the end zone. Rice, the freshman, going to be brought down inside the 20 at the 15-yard line. Do the Buffaloes have another stop in them defensively? Herman Smith made that tackle. And there's a look at Robert Livingston, the former defensive backs coach of the NFL Cincinnati Bengals. His defense coming up big here.
His defense allowed 177 yards rushing through the first 3 quarters. Here in the fourth, only 11 yards rushing allowed. They have come up big, and then obviously the interception that set up the game, the go-ahead touchdown.
Giddens in the backfield. Avery Johnson with a play fake, one-on-one coverage. Incomplete at the 45. No flags on the play intended for Jace Brown. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Brown was working against DJ McKinney on the play.
And now the question is, can Avery Johnson come up with the big-time clutch throws that Shedeur Sanders did? In the situations like these, you're going to need 2 or 3 big-time throws to drive your team downfield and score the go-ahead touchdown. Does Avery Johnson have it?
Brown has been their go-to receiver tonight. They fake the jet sweep. Wide open out of the backfield. Giddens with tons of real estate. Shiloh Sanders helps run him down and pushes him out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. What a play fake that time by Avery Johnson. A 36-yard gain.
It's just going to be a little rail route out of the backfield. 2 slants from the receivers. And Giddens wide open. No one takes him in that man-to-man coverage. And it's a massive gain for Kansas State.
They're going to mark it back at the 50-yard line. Under 2.5 minutes to go. Giddens in the backfield. The play fake. One-on-one down the sidelines. Caught! Flag! Touchdown! Brown doing it for the Cats! He got in behind Preston Hodge, and Avery Johnson dropped a dime.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. That penalty is declined. He wrote the play. It's a touchdown.
Incredible poise and precision from quarterback Avery Johnson, delivering when it most counted there.
That was one of those big-time throws, and it's incredible poise and precision from Jace Brown. Watch how he stacks the defensive back. He puts his back right in front of the chest, so all Preston Hodge can do is go through his back to try and get the football. It ends up in the pass interference, but more than that, it ends up in a catch and a touchdown.
The extra point important here. It'll make it a field goal lead. And it's 31-28. Avery Johnson with a spectacular, brilliant answer in that throw to Brown with his 2nd touchdown catch of the night. With 2:14 to go in the ball game and 1 timeout remaining, Roddy, take me inside the thought process of Shedeur Sanders and Coach Shermer, his offensive coordinator.
Well, I don't think the thought process of Shedeur Sanders changes much.
Okay.
He is built for these moments. He trains for these moments. And he has already shown that in these situations, he's clutch. He calls it Brady time.
Yeah.
It's time to go be Tom Brady.
Well,
you only need a field goal to tie. You don't want to be careless or greedy with the football.
Well, when you have Tom Brady as one of your mentors, and when you can pick up the phone and text him and ask him about certain coverages, yeah, that's dealing with the best and getting the best kind of schooling if you're a quarterback. We've seen these comebacks before from Colorado. Do Sanders and the offense have one more left with 2:18 to play? All they have to do is get into field goal range. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. And if you're just joining us, the Buffaloes just took the lead a moment ago before that touchdown pass from Johnson to Brown. The Buffaloes are playing without Travis Hunter on offense and defense, playing without Jimmy Horn. They're one of their top receivers, playing without Omarion Miller. Hayden in the backfield on 1st down and 10. Sanders has leaned into Shepard and Wester to pass. His safety valve. Nice move on the edge by Hayden. And he picks up about 4 or 5. It'll be 2nd down and 6. And we're going to hit the 2-minute timeout. We can get 2nd down and about 6 to go. Great finish coming up. Stick back. We've seen some real spellbinding play from quarterbacks tonight. Sanders, 382 yards, timely passes on the last drive by Avery Johnson.
Shedeur Sanders has 382 yards passing, and he's going to need more if he's going to win this game.
Looking at a 2nd and 6 here. They run another stunt up front. Is that caught? Is that caught? Incomplete. Miller couldn't come up with it, tried to sell it. We've seen a little bit of everything tonight.
Yes, we have. He almost got there.
Oh, yeah, it bounced clearly.
Got the hand on it, but the pressure on Shedeur is what caused that. He had to throw it off platform a little bit because he had pressure in his face.
Looking at 3rd and 6. 2 receivers into the boundary. There's a flag down, and they're going to blow this play dead.
The flag was right on time. The whistle to blow it dead seemed a little late.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 54, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Going to go against Philip Houston. Can't afford those penalties at this time.
There he is. Yeah, just barely. It wasn't by much, but it was premature.
3rd and 11 as a result. Sanders comes underneath, complete at the 30-yard line. Hayden makes the catch. Picks up 6, so we're looking at 4th down and about 5 to go for the ball game for Colorado. They need to stay alive.
And this is the game. You've only got 1 timeout. Clock is running.
We got to get to the 35. Pressure off the edge. Sanders downfield. Incomplete. No flag on the play intended for Shepard. Garber was there. And Kansas State will take over on downs. The Buffaloes with only 1 timeout remaining. They'll have it at the Buffaloes' 30-yard line. As that pass went over Shepard's head, and the ball appeared to be uncatchable.
The ball was thrown out of bounds. Yep. And so I don't know if that's the reason the flag wasn't called. It wasn't an obvious PI, pass interference to me. I thought Shedeur Sanders got a little greedy on that 4th down. It's a low percentage throw down the field, and then the throw wasn't executed well.
Let's take one more look at the tail end of that play. Kansas State on the verge of their 5th win of the season.
Timeout, Colorado. The third and final timeout of the half. 60 seconds in lane.
Had an arm around
the game
him.
clock to 108, please. 108.
Look at his right arm.
But look at where the ball is. I don't think Will Shepherd is all that close to catching that football.
Right.
That ball was thrown,
I would agree,
kind of well outside. And so in that situation, I actually like the no call. It's like Garber, there is a lot of contact there, and I think if that ball is in play, the flag is thrown. But I believe it to be out of bounds.
when you say that Shedeur got a little bit greedy, you think, on that play, what would you have liked potentially to see?
I would have liked to have seen something that's a higher percentage throw. Those one-on-one fades down the field aren't high percentage. And look, you got to have somebody open, but also he could have used his legs as well as you look at the standings.
Yeah. Colorado will fall to 2-1. And Kansas State improved to 2-1. And you know, if you're Kansas State, you look at the stats against that BYU team that they lost to, the stats would tell you a different story, but they had untimely mistakes that really cost them that game. Not to take anything away from the Cougars.
But you are right, though. Penalties and turnovers killed Kansas State in that game. And this is a good football team that Colorado has. They went toe-to-toe with a good football team in Kansas State without Travis Hunter for the vast majority of the game, without Jimmy Horn towards the end. It's a good win for Kansas State, head-to-head over Colorado down the stretch. It's two good football teams, though.
Chris Kleiman, the head coach of the Wildcats, comes into Boulder and comes out with the dub. They'll win it 31-28. And for Kansas State, next week they'll travel to Morgantown, West Virginia to take on the Mountaineers. And then take on their cross-state rivals, Kansas, after that in 2 weeks. But they are back very much in the hunt in the Big 12. As for Coach Sanders and the Buffaloes, some questions after this one, especially with Travis Hunter, right?
Injuries, the biggest question, protecting Shedeur Sanders. But on the other side, Kansas State's for real. They can run the football, and they're much better on the road this time than they were in their prior 2 road games.
The Big 12 after party did not disappoint. 31-28. Kansas State wins at SportsCenter next. For Roddy Jones, Quint Kesnick, and our crew, I'm Mark Jones. So long from Boulder.